Welcome back. Well, we've had some pretty rough storms this week, and somebody made the mistake of buying a pop-up blind and putting it out for the deer to get used to it on hay wagon running gear. And Mother Nature decided that I didn't need that. Well, to try to keep something going, because it's only about 2 weeks before the youth hunt and I want to have the deer used to something out there, I decided to go ahead and make a purchase. Well, I guess maybe more of an investment. So let's take a look at it. Here it is. I'm hoping that this one's going to last me a whole lot longer than the pop-up blind. So this thing is Amish built, 6x8, has the tinted glass in it. Seems like there's a lot of room inside, being as big as it is. My thought was to have room for both kids and myself, or maybe I could come out and throw the cot in here and stay in here all night. That way I'm not spooking anything and walking in the morning. Now, it's not super fancy, but it will definitely serve the purpose. So I do want to take a minute to explain something about the loader on the tractor. No issues, no problems, just something that I got to thinking about with my mom wanting to look for a tractor to be able to carry hay bales and stuff. There's something that I thought would be some good information for people to understand whenever they're going to look at a tractor as far as the loader capacity and all that. And I'll try to explain it the best that I can so everybody will be able to understand. So here's the operator's manual for mine. And I'll get this thing opened up to the back where the specifications are, and I'll explain some of this stuff to you guys. So here is a drawing and a whole bunch of information, and I'm going to try to break it down as simple as I can. At this pin, or pivot pin, is where that max load at full height is. And if we look right here, lift capacity to the maximum height, which is U and 84 inches, it's 1,186 pounds. Now, the farther you go from that pin location out to the center of your load, that weight is less. So if we go to V, which is 500 millimeters by the book, or right close to 19 and 11/16, that drops to 845 pounds. And then if we go from this location, which is 59 inches from the ground, right here, you're able to pick up 1,294 pounds. But if you go out to that 19 and 11/16 inches for the center of your load, you're only going to be at 977 pounds. So I guess sort of what I was trying to explain by doing this is you have to account for your load on the loader to pick the tractor size, frame size, loader for your application. So if I was picking up 5x5 round bales, the center of my load would be 2.5 feet. And then I don't know what actual 5x5 round bale weighs. I'm going to just say 1,500 pounds. So my load center would be 1,500 pounds. So at roughly 2.5 feet plus just a couple inches from that center of that pin to the center of my load, I need to be able to pick up 1,500 pounds. If that makes sense. Maybe it's clear as mud. Don't know. So, like with this blind here, we'll just use this as an example. I don't know the exact weight of it, but I'm sure that the tractor can pick this blind up as far as the weight goes. But the problem is that this blind is 8 foot long. So the center of my load is at 4 feet. Well, we just seen here at 19 and 11/16 inches at 59 inches high, I can only pick up 977 pounds. Well, that's with my load center being at 19 11/16. Now that my load center is at 4 foot, that weight is a whole lot less. And on that, in the other video where I was picking up the hay bales, if you noticed, I always went and put a round bale on the back of the tractor and have the rear tires loaded before I did that, because you have to make sure that you have the counterweight to be able to pick up the load. Otherwise you're gonna overload on the front axle and tear something up. This information needs to be thought about and brought up whenever you go to use any piece of equipment, whether it be a tractor or front end loader, forklift, so on and so forth. You have to make sure that you're able to do it. Like I said, the weight's not a problem here. It's more just, it's just so long. So I'm gonna come up with another way to do this. I'm gonna just lift this thing up in the air and see if I can drag it on to the other trailer safely. Maybe safely. And in case you're wondering, as far as where the blind is on the trailer, I did not haul it that far back on the trailer. I slid it back. Well, that went a little easier than I expected. Still have to center it up a little bit, but it's on there. All I have to do is just anchor it down and take it back out there. While I got you guys on here, I am going to be taking off to Texas September the 8th to go on a ram hunt. I'd done one December 31st, 2019, took my first ever ram. It's not the bighorn sheep that I would love to go do, but if somebody wants to, you know, pay for a hunt for me, I'd be glad to go. So here's Frank, my first ever ram. He is a Corsican ram. The taxidermist was here in Michigan. I think they done an awesome job with it. I mean, it looks good. I'm very, very happy with the taxidermy work. I haven't had a whole lot of success with taxidermists. Well, I got it all anchored down and hooked to the tractor. Now we're gonna see if we can't get this thing out there. Some of you might be wondering why I drug this thing all the way over here instead of over on that food plot over in the corner where I've seen a lot of deer. So here recently I haven't seen a whole lot over there, and over there is where that pop-up blind was sitting on this trailer, and there's a lot of wind coming across this field, and that's what took it out. So as I was pulling in, I don't know if it caught on camera or not, but right over here was a small buck and a doe bedded down. And we'll go inside here and see how I got sort of set up. So you can see right there is that soybean field, and over where them yellow flowers are on the far side, I don't know what they are, but over there is one of the food plots that I planted. Then we come over here, and on the other side of that fence, I planted a food plot. Oh look, there's a deer up there. Can you guys see it? That's sort of the reason I picked this spot. The deer like to come out over there, in fact. And then they also like to cross right here between these pines and this south hardwoods. And they'll stop and feed, or they'll come along the front of the pines and then go on over into the hardwoods. And then out this window, all along that fence row, all the way up through there, there's a food plot planted. You guys have a good one. We'll see you next week.